Howdy y'all, Wyrm here. Welcome to episode 5 of the Catchup to Endwalker series. In this episode, we'll be covering the recent events surrounding the Eorzean Alliance and their newly formed military defensive arm, the Grand Company of Eorzea. Before we begin, there will be spoilers for the recent storyline of patches 5.4 and 5.5. Alright, let's hop to it. The Eorzean Alliance is a cooperative alliance, both politically and militarily, comprised of the major city-states of Eorzea as well as others. It includes the Eorzean city-states of Ul'dah, Gridania, Limsa, Ishgard, and Alamigo. Though it's not located in Eorzea, Doma is also a member of this alliance due to shared interests, as well as great cooperation showed throughout the events of Stormblood. However, recently the Eorzean Alliance has gained new member allies in the Eorzean beast tribes. This includes the Amalja, the Sylphs, the Kobolds, the Ixal, the Sahagin, the Vanu, the Nath, and the Ananta. The Eorzean Alliance has a storied history that could fill books, but I'll condense it down here. The alliance we know today isn't the first. It has come and gone over the past 100 plus years as the need arose. It was first formed by Eorzean city-states to combat the threat of the original Alamigo, before its fall to the Garlemalds. At this point, Alamigo attempted to invade Gridania, an event known as the Autumn War. The alliance drifted apart after this until just a few years ago, when the Garleans presented a threat to all of Eorzea, so the Eorzean alliance we know today was reformed. The alliance's primary mandate in the present is to secure the sovereignty of each of its member city-states and allies, while also keeping the Garlean Empire at bay, while also supplying many other factions who are similarly threatened by Garlemalds. Due to the recent resurgence and unpredictability of the Garlean Empire, the recent attacks on Eorzea, and the emergence of the Telephory on Garlemalds' side, the Eorzean Alliance came to an agreement of setting up a new force to defend Eorzea and combat this threat. Its name? The Grand Company of Eorzea. While this Grand Company is newly formed, the foundations of it were laid years before, when Alphinaud and the Scions founded the Crystal Braves, a Grand Company to combat the threats to Eorzea alongside the Scions. Sadly, we know too well this company failed, due to the corruption from within, as well as having some things wrong with its formation. But lessons were learned from the Crystal Braves, and used to form a much more stable and stronger Grand Company of Eorzea. The forces of the Grand Company of Eorzea consist of the Grand Companies of Ul'dah, Gridania, and Limsa. The Temple Knights of Ishgard and the Resistance of Alamigo also play a part in this company, as well as Doma's military factions. But it's not only the city-states that provide support. Since the Beast Tribes have joined, they've added their own considerable military strength to the Grand Company. Each tribe brings something unique to the table when it comes to their combative or defensive abilities, which makes the Grand Company of Eorzea much more diversified, and thus much harder for a predictable army like those of the Garlean legions to combat them, as they never know fully who they'll be fighting. The Grand Company's first trial was in the recent Battle of Cartanel, where the Scions and the Grand Company of Eorzea pushed back the Garlean and Telephory along with their multiple lunar primals. With the battle won by the Grand Company, it proved to be a great fighting force, but more importantly, an excellent defensive force. As Sir Emmerich stated after the battle, the Grand Company proved its worth and function, as it could combat the Garleans and the Telephory, and even combat the Primals thanks to the cure to tempering. This cure was used to great effect during said battle to untemper not only the Grand Company forces, but even the Garlean prisoners of war. Since the Grand Company of Eorzea could hold a line, this leaves the Scions of the Seventh Dawn free to combat the threat of the Towers and the Telephory. As we head into Endwalker, the Eorzean Alliance is stronger than it's ever been. Each city-state and tribe is preparing for the conflict ahead, and the Grand Company of Eorzea is arming and preparing, using the lessons they learned at Cartanel. We don't know what part these two great organisations will play in Endwalker, but it's likely both will be working hard to defend Eorzea's and Doma's borders, as well as supply aid to all who need it. From what we've seen in the benchmark trailers, the Grand Company of Eorzea will also be going on the offensive under the leadership of the Alliance and commanded by the Scions, who will need their might to take on the challenge laid down by the Telephory. My personal theory is the Eorzean Alliance will gain some new members, or at least some new allies in Endwalker. And some pretty close to Garlemalds, but I'll elaborate more on that in another video. And that's everything regarding the status of the Eorzean Alliance and the Grand Company of Eorzea as we head into Endwalker. Thanks for watching everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this episode or found at least part of it helpful. Leave your personal thoughts in the comments. If I missed anything, comment on that too. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and consider subscribing to stay tuned for many more upcoming videos. Thanks everyone, and now, as always, have a good one.